What is the crack? Welcome to Absolutely Marinated, a show where I have a few cans, cook some things and tell you about it. And today I am making a Patatas a la Riojana. I don't know. For the people that aren't from Spain, it's pretty much spuds and chorizo. Potatoes and chorizo kind of stew job. Pretty easy to put together, fairly tasty. Start off by slicing your onions into crescent moon shapes. When I say crescent moon, just kind of chop them in regular slices. So chop the onions in half and then just chop them straight through like this. Basically what that enables it to do is to it allows them to caramelize without burning, so you can put them on a low heat for longer and they caramelize without getting black and burnt. Alongside your onion you want some carrots. Just take the top and the bottom off them and then kind of slice them into kinds. There's one or two different ways to do it. You can either chop it like this, which is just poured down, or from my extensive experience cutting root vegetables back home in Ireland, you can do it this way with a sharp pair knife and a thumb, and you kind of have to pay a bit more attention, but it's easy to do over a pat. They don't go all over the shop. And at this point you prep your chorizo. I like to chop it into little triangle wedges, as you can see. Basically, the more surface area, it allows the fat to render out of the chorizo, which will kind of come in handy when you start cooking your onions. Now, I also peeled off the skin after I chopped them up into triangles, which in hindsight would have made a lot more sense if I did it before I chopped up into triangles, so I have to take off one skin as opposed to individual skins on anything, but we won't get into that, lads, will we? Once your chorizo is done, then you'll go ahead and start prepping your spuds. The prep of the spuds is a bit peculiar in the sense that you don't really chop them through, you kind of break them down, but what I'm doing there is taking a knife and kind of pulling them apart, not chopping the whole way through, so you're kind of left with a rough, kind of gnarly edge on the spuds. Basically what that'll allow to do is when you cook it out, it'll help release some of the starches from the spuds, and the spuds in question are baby spuds I think I used. The starches will, when you chop them like this, the starches kind of seep out easier into the stew and it helps thicken it, you know. So you have no need for flour or any other thickeners, or, well, I mean, if you want to put it in flour you can put it in flour, but you know, why bother when you have spuds there to do it for you. Meat. And once your chorizo is in the pot, turn it on to a kind of a medium high heat, and just let the fat start to render out. Throw in a bit of olive oil as well to help out in the fat. You'll see everything go nice sort of yellowy orange colour, and once you've all that done, you will basically, once you've rendered out enough fat out of the chorizo, we'll throw our onions, and then we cook our onions in that fat, you know, wish not, want not, extra flavour, extra depth, you know, the whole shebang. Method in the madness, lads. Once you have all your chorizo out, you should have a nice layer of fat. As I said, throw your onions in, give them a stir around, throw in some salt and some butter, and the salt will help the onions release some of their moisture, which will help them caramelize. And then the butter is just because butter is class, lads, you know. And after about 10 to 15 minutes on a kind of medium-low heat, your onions should be as soft and jammy as Bill Cosby's current mental state. At this point, then you give it a now stir around, make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. You want to stir this periodically throughout, you know, the 15-20 minute process, however long it takes for your onions to get looking like this. At this point, then I add in my paprika. I got a nice Spanish smoked paprika there, about 2 or 3 teaspoons of it, whatever you feel like, some salt, some pepper. Give it a now stir around. Maybe you want to throw in a teaspoon of cayenne, maybe a half teaspoon of cumin. And as you can see, I harshed in 2 garlic cloves that I forgot that I prepped. 2 garlic cloves to be precise, and just let them stew around, get to know each other. Once your garlic is nice and sweated off, I like to add my tomatoes at this point. You can use fresh tomatoes if you want, about 2 or 3 of them, but I like to use, I just have roasted tomatoes in my cupboards at all times, so I just use those, fire roasted in particular, because they're taste. And I let those tomatoes go for about maybe 5-10 minutes to kind of reduce down. Helps them get a lot sweeter. And then I throw the chorizo back in the pot. get them all to know each other. Once that's done, then I go ahead and I add my chicken stock, about maybe 3/4 of a litre of chicken stock into the pot. It kind of stops the cooking, and that's a perfect way to cook your potatoes, because potatoes grow under the ground, so you're meant to bring it up to the boil. Like, I say that like I know what I'm talking about, I heard it somewhere else, but anyways, I digress. Once you have your spuds in, you throw in about 3 or 4 tablespoons of dill, and dill is a herb. You throw that in. You taste for seasoning as well, so if you need some more salt, throw in more salt. You need more pepper, throw in more pepper. And once that's at, you stir all those in. Once it kind of comes up to a simmer, you just throw in 2 bay leaves and throw the hat on it. Throw a hat on it, and then give it, reduce the heat to a bare simmer, and give it 20 to 40 to 50 minutes, just for your vegetables to cook through. I mean, by all means, it could be done in 40 minutes, it could be done in an hour. Your veg will be very soft if you like it that way, but sure, look, you can pick yourself. And it's lockdown times too, boys, so it's not like we have fucking anything else better for doing. And on that bombshell, that's the job done. Some tasty potato chorizo stew job. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to give it an old like and subscribe, and if you're feeling pure frisky, give it an old share on your social media platforms. Anyways, thanks for watching, lads. Good luck.